Good evening to those of you who are here in Europe and the UK, and good morning to the rest of you in Los Angeles, and good afternoon to you in Central Time, and if you're up early, good morning to you in Australia. But we're here live today to speak to Evakarin Wallin, who is in Sweden. Now, I am on a mission to bring legend stories to the world. And it's a daunting task until you meet actual legends, and then it becomes really easy. And of course, in my opinion, and soon to be yours, Evakarin is one of those. And for me, a legend is is a story that needs to be read. That's the original Latin version, but it's something that it contains nothing untrue, but is extraordinary and may contain miracles. And that's exactly what we have here in feeling with Evakarin. She's very grounded and says that it's possible for all of us, but she deals very specifically with change. She is the transformation queen. So, Evakarin, she uses the hidden language of pain to create transformation but in the present. So you can literally feel it while she's doing it, and it's lasting. It has a lasting effect. And she's on a mission to teach us all that language and to do it for ourselves, which is extraordinary. So more of that later. And she will also be telling you a story about how she grew her boobs with her mind. But we'll keep that one till right at the end. Welcome, Evakarin. It's really lovely to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Now, when we very first met, you told me a story that almost all of us can relate to about being at a party, and in some way, this is how you discovered this. Can you possibly tell us that story?
Yeah, that was a moment in time where that really shifted so much for me. Uh, if I go back before that, one of my biggest issues in life was that I used to be afraid of everything. Uh, I thought the world was scary. And but somehow I had a drive within myself that moved me forward. And I think that because I was afraid of so many things, my life looked scary and became scary because my subconscious mind drove me in that direction. And at one point in time, I was really deeply down. And then I started to discover personal development. But it was a bit of on off because I was afraid, afraid of being fooled, afraid of, well, maybe this isn't going to work, it's not true. So it was one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake. So it was a bit off and on. At this moment that you mentioned, where I came home from the party, thing was, I was at this party and I had been invited. And when I came there, I really did not feel included. I felt awkward. And I just felt, why did I say yes to come here? And how soon can I get away from everybody? So I was just polite, keeping a low profile, and just waited to a good excuse to get back home. And when I came home, I felt so bad. And I sat with it for a minute because I had learned some things before that. And now I actually put it into use. So what I did, I was asking, I was feeling it, but not in my stomach, and I was asking the knot what it wanted to tell me. And it told me all kinds of things, and it was not nice things to hear. It was things like, you're not good enough, you're not as good as those kind of people, don't think you can ever belong to them. Stay with your own path. So, and it was really hard to hear it. I mean, it was me talking to me, but just hearing what the knot in my stomach wanted to share with me was painful. And I just sat there and I just took it in. I wrote it down, and finally it stopped talking. And I felt peace. I felt good. I remember standing up, not having this knot on my stomach. And I felt I didn't care if I belonged to them or not. And I was looking at the window and I saw the trees and I saw the houses. I mean, the same houses that has always been there, but they look different. It was like they had turned a little bit. It was same and still different. And of course, they were not different. It was me that was different. And that was the day when I fell in love with obstacles.
I love that. When I fell in love with obstacles. So many of us are running from it.
I love
Okay, so Evakarin, why is it then that we don't all do what you've just done?
Well, did you ever learn in school what to do with your feelings?
Well, no. Maths and English, obviously.
No, they were stuffed down. We shouldn't even recognize them, just move on. Don't care about your feelings because they're nothing and just move on. That is what most of us have been taught in school. And that is one of the most dangerous things ever because I have a book title, I read Feelings Never Die. And that is so true. Because if you don't accept the feelings you have, because every time you feel something, there's a message hidden within it. And if you stuff it down and never recognize it, it's going to build up and build up and build up. So think of a person that you know of, maybe not personally, but know of, like Hitler or some, person that did a lot of things that were not so nice to people or to themselves. Why? And why are people so obsessed by reading gossip magazines? It's because those people that are doing bad things, they have so much built up of these, whatever they have, patterns, feelings, reactions, that has not been allowed to come out in a healing way. And the reason why we love gossip magazines is because, oh yeah, that star, that person did, famous person, they did that. Oh, they were drunk at this party, they took off their clothes and everyone can see it. Oh my God, I'm not as bad as them. It's comforting me when I haven't looked at my own feelings and reactions. So the question to your answer is, the answer to your question is that we have never been taught what to do with our feelings.
Right. I've never noticed that gossip was self-soothing. I'm not a huge fan, and now I know why. So essentially, if we could do this, we'd all be a lot nicer, and the world would be a better place to live in.
Can you say that again?
So if we all did this, it would be a better world to live in. We'd all be much nicer people, and it would be a better world to live in. So then my question is, what exactly is it that you do to help people to do this?
Yeah. I am creating awareness. I help people by guiding them to listen to their body so they can hear what the body tells them. Because the body is the vehicle from between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And in the Western world, especially, and I think most of the world actually, I'm not really sure, but I think so, we are so stuck up in our heads. It's like we use the body as a vehicle to just make the head travel. So we just forget about the body. Someone said that the largest meter or half meter is between the brain and the heart, because seldom when they connected. So, and because we were taught in school to not listen to our feelings and just be analytical and think things through, so we continue to do that in life. So what I help people to do is to recognize what they're feeling So many times I hear people, when I ask them, how do you feel about that? When they talk about a situation, they say, well, not really sure. And I just ask them, how do you feel in your chest? How do you feel in your stomach? So they have to put their awareness from the head down to the body to actually feel it. Yeah, it, I think I feel heavy in my chest. So what does that say to you? And many times when you feel things in your chest, it's sadness, sorrow, and in the stomach, it's fear. Very generalizing here, but that is very, very common. And to unravel that and dismantle these ideas we have about ourselves that are causing us to think a certain way and by that act a certain way. Because have you ever thought of how you feel when you wake up and the sun is shining and you just love everyone and everything? I mean, you're sparkling. And compare the actions you take when you feel that way to the day when you didn't get enough sleep, you hit your toe on the way to the bathroom, and you just feel, ah, I'm just waiting to go to bed. You know, just compare the actions and how you feel. See how important it is to recognize what we feel. And to take another step beyond that, it's not just the feelings that you are conscious of that runs your life. I would estimate like 95% of everything you do and have in life comes from your subconscious patterns. You don't have a clue of why you do things the way you do.
Right, and so the pain that we feel in our body, like a stiff neck or a bad knee, that's our body trying to communicate something with us.
Yeah, and doesn't have to go so far for it to become a pain. It can just be discomfort. And the more you practice to become aware of what is going on in your body, the more, the faster you will recognize what is going on. But yes, when you do have a pain, when you do have something happen to your body, it's your body screaming because you haven't been listening before.
Right. So if we're in pain, it's a long way down the line. Is there a way? Do you have an example? Can you tell a story of somebody that you've worked with so that we can sort of see how that transformed in the end?
Yeah, I can talk about actually my son's girlfriend. They came to visit me yesterday because she had an appointment with a chiropractor in town, and I asked her what's going on, and she said I lifted something heavy the other day, and I got some pain in my stomach, in my neck. So I said, "You want me to help you with that?" She said, "Oh, sure." So I was working with her, and then I asked her, "How do you feel? Do you feel the shift?" Then she said, "You know what? I've had this, thing in my throat, like some kind of knot or something, and that just went away." And I didn't know about that. So the body knows. I just need to be there to hold the space, and the body knows what it can do, or is supposed to do. And then I continued to work, and she felt that something was shifting in her neck, but she wasn't good when they went back home. But today, I got a text message. She said, "You know what? The pain is gone." And
Oh, that's really fascinating. But you can do this remotely. In other words, you don't have to be in the same room with someone. So this isn't touch therapy. You weren't massaging her, doing little karate chops on the back of her neck or anything.
yeah, the things we were sitting opposite each other, having a table in between us. So that is remotely, even though we were seeing each
Yeah.
other. It doesn't matter because this go beyond our, five senses world. It goes beyond that in a realm I cannot see. I cannot, you know, I can just have an idea about what it is because I cannot grasp it. Most
It's
people.
immeasurable, so to speak. I know you once, because we've had lots of lovely conversations, but you told me a story about a man knocking on the door that really helped me to completely understand this. Can you tell us that one?
Sure. That's a metaphor for how I see that we are working or not working with our feelings, reactions. So one day, this is several years ago, someone came banging on my door, my front door, and I opened, and there was a man, never seen him before, and he said, "Your house is on fire, you need to get out." Well, of course we went out. I shouted to the rest of the family, we went out. The firemen were already there working on the house, and we can just stand there, look at them working, and hoping that we could go back in, which we could. But the thing is, when we get this uncomfortable feeling in our body, it's like the man banging on the door because it's an urgent message. And the thing is, just imagine if I had opened the door and he said, "Your house is on fire." And I said, "Well, I don't want to hear that. No, bad news. I go and hide in my basement because I don't want to know. I mean, that could have risked our lives."
Yeah.
So it's what we do when we don't accept and see and embrace the feelings and reactions we have. It's like, "I don't want to know the message. I don't want to see it. I don't know. Thank you. Bye bye. No, no." And we stuff it down, and next time it's going to bang harder.
Right. Or
So,
we're going to be in the burning building, and we're
yeah.
effectively in a burning building.
And that is when we do bad things, either to ourselves or to someone else. You know how some people they get sick because they bury their feelings. They might be angry and feel discomfort, but they're afraid to speak up and stand up for themselves. It hurts their body. There are evidence that shows this. So it's not what I'm making up. It's really a fact I'm talking about. And then we have other kinds of people that are shouting, slamming the doors, saying bad things to people. So they are having an outward reaction, but it's not a healthy reaction. Neither of them are. Embracing it and seeing what it is and what it holds within it, that is healing and that is helping. And when you do that, you will get more from yourself out and you will feel more confident, more stronger, and be more in contact with your inner power.
Yes, I can see that. Is that? I mean, that's basically what you believe is possible, don't you? That we can stand in our own power.
Oh my God, we have so much more power than we can ever imagine. It's and I mean, I feel so much more powerful now and confident with who I am. Just looking back a few years ago, and then I would just scratch the surface. It's so much more for me to experience and unravel within myself. And from the beginning, I came from not wanting to feel fear. Now I am exploring and I'm inviting fear, anger, whatever I feel into my life because I know that it will enrich my life experience in every way.
Yes, I mean, and obviously, in the time that we've known us each other, I've just seen you demonstrate this over and over again. This ability to handle it. Okay, so if there was one thing you wanted us to take away from our conversation today, what would it be?
That miracles are waiting on the other side of obstacles.
So feelings and reactions and messages. We've got to learn the language for our own advantage and to embrace those obstacles because miracles are on the other side of problems.
Yeah, problems are nothing bad. They don't tell you that you're on the wrong path. They don't mock with you and want you to stop. They want to show you what you need to up level within yourself so you can move forward with more ease. We don't need to struggle when we work this way, when we take a step forward and listen when we get into an obstacle because that is what's going to happen. So, so don't hope to never get problems. Let's listen to what is the message because how do you know you have problems? Because it doesn't feel comfortable. And listen to the reaction you have and look at what key does it hold within it that shows you what you need to up level with yourself to ease in your next step.
Yes, in fact, you're actually saying we should be going searching for those, actively like encouraging welcoming them in and up, almost up in our bodies. I'm wondering, we were joined today, and so this is a bit of a first experiment that Evakarin has been very kind to indulge in this. We're going to see if we can have live Q&As while we're here. I need to ask Ben, who's obviously our production tech person, how do we find out who is on the call with us? Oh, okay. Well, Al? That's cool. Can we unmute and ask anybody if they've got any questions? Ooh, that's how we do it. So I believe that we have Jean with us and that we have Janine with us. And apparently, if you unmute, you can ask a question. So even if you haven't got a question, I'd love you to come on and say hello to Evakarin just by unmuting and seeing if you can speak. This is all a bit of an experiment right now.
Yes, hello.
Jean, hello, how are you?
Hi, good. Lovely to see you, Evakarin. Well done. That's so interesting. I just love your stories and the fact that, there's so much going on underneath that we really don't discover until, until you're pushed into a really difficult situation. And and I love it. You're very sort of calm about, we can cope with anything. I love it. It's brilliant.
She is that, isn't she, Jean? Thank you so much for coming on. Janine, are you there? And would you like to come on and say hello to Evakarin? No idea. Okay. This was a little experiment. Jean, I love you for coming on and speaking with us and the first foray into interactive TV. So we promised everyone your boob story, Evakarin.
That's what we need.
That's why you're here. Yeah. Don't bother about the rest. Yes. Did you disappear, or?
No, we're here.
We're here. No, I haven't come for me, but I'm very interested in the story.
Yes, the boob story. So It's that time, Jean. So Evakarin, you're a mother of 5, and the last one just left home, and so like most women, you breastfed all your children, and therefore the toll of breastfeeding, your breasts had taken the toll of breastfeeding. So tell us what happened when you decided not to accept that as a reality.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, I had accepted it as a reality. I could really embrace and see the value that my breast had fed my 5 children. Breastfed them for almost a year, every one of them. So there were nothing left. Just, So, and that was, I met this man that I had a relationship with for a while. And when he saw them, he said, well, don't have to be like that. He was a healer and really, really good at what he was doing. And he showed me actually what was possible, and especially by changing my boobs. So if you think of any kind of problem you have in your body as some kind of stress, even if you get hurt by something, what happens in the body is stress. So if you think about it from that perspective, so see, my boobs, they had a lot of stress by filling with milk and breastfeeding and sleepless nights and everything. So what he did was he released the stress in my boobs. And it took 3 months. And they were as before, actually better than before. So I had to change my bra size, a couple of sizes up. That was really amazing. And they're still like that. So
yes.
I usually don't tell because I think that it might sound a bit too much. but I'm here and my boobs are there for everything.
Yep, self-evident. I mean, that's what I love about the story, is that it's completely magical, and yet it's completely measurable. You have a great rack. And when you told me that story, I actually can corroborate it, that about a year ago I had cysts in mine, and they were about the size of an egg, and I discovered them in the Sheraton Hotel at one of the retreats we were both on in Los Angeles. And I also know, having spoken with you, that we carry things in our bodies, and I went through some non-surgical, non-interference kind of process, which was a trance state. It's called The Journey by Brendan Bayes, and I experienced it 20 years ago. So I went back to her, and my cysts have gone, and they were gone within a month. So, there are parts of our body that I can corroborate that my experience matches yours. Not exactly as magnificent as yours, but this is such a. When you told me the story, the delight for me is that how it's just evident that this is measurable and works, and it has this incredible power. So thank you for sharing, and one last thing. What's next for you, Evakarin?
What's next for me is that I'm going to have a webinar tomorrow night, European time, and where I will demonstrate how I can transform something that holds a person back. I'm going to choose them that are willing to step up, and during their life, and share how it can transform and release from the person's system, and what happens to the person while I'm doing that. And of course, I'm going to talk about how a little bit of theories behind it as well.
Wow! So if people turn up at your webinar tomorrow, live, we can literally see it in process, and or one of us might actually get chosen to demonstrate this. Oh, that's amazing! I think that's really incredible. No, the other thing that I find very generous about you is you are actually prepared to teach people how to do this. A lot of practitioners keep that secret to themselves, or that power, and you're literally willing to teach people how to do this for them. So if they come to the webinar or they get in contact with you, this is something that you can really help people with. You can work with them to help them, and you are also running some sort of program to help people to learn how to do this. Is that right?
It's absolutely right. This is really a power to the people. Because when you learn to do this, you can do this with yourself. Anytime anything comes up, it doesn't matter what it is. It works every time.
That's incredible. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to wrap us up. Thank you so much for this. I so always enjoy talking to you. I'm going to put the webinar link in underneath this recording. And then we're going to put this out on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and everything else like this. Good luck with the webinar tomorrow. And thank you for your service to people, to teaching them to this, the power to the people, and for those who don't want to do it for themselves, for doing it for them and with them. Thank you so much, Evakarin.
Thank you so much for letting me be here and share my message.
You're amazing. All right, let's all wave goodbye to the lovely people.
Bye.
Bye.